All right, welcome back. We do have a Terran vs. Protoss meeting going down for you here on Daybreak, so let's get right into the player introduction so we don't miss a second of the action. In the top right corner, he is our fellow ASL caster. Spotting in the purple trunks, your Protoss player.
Deadly Gaming, EnderSword.
And some funky business going on from our boy in the gold trunks, the Terran player in the bottom left-hand corner. He is your Terran player.
Team Ascension, Armadawn.
And he's actually going to go ahead and take a refinery. Of course, he's not going to finish it, but that's really funny that he's doing this against a guy like EnderSword. EnderSword, of course, not notorious for his cheesing. He's about as notorious for his cheesing as Dr. Pepper is the best soda in the world, so very much so. And Armadawn going to go ahead and eBay block at the same time, so essentially guaranteeing that you are not going to early pressure or expand, but also guaranteeing himself that you're not going to have any minerals back home because you've just wasted 75 and 125 respectively. But regardless, that's the thing. We've got more probes on the way for EnderSword, and finally Armadawn is going to go ahead and pull back his SCV as a Reaper is now going to get in the mineral line and start going to work. It picks up one kill before the Stalker shoos it away. And this is going to be really annoying for EnderSword to deal with. I've never seen an opening like this, but I really like it, and I'm interested in seeing where it goes. Of course, he's gone ahead and expanded. He's taken a second already. And these two buildings are just going to stay here. So EnderSword, the cheese has come back in full force, but it is not the cheese you were expecting. And this Reaper is probably going to get a third kill here. So 3 kills on a Reaper thus far in the game. Is he going to be able to get that last probe? He isn't, but oh, he does have 3 kills though. So this Stalker able to poke away, but that Reaper's probably going to get away if he gets to the cliff fast enough, and there it goes. You know what? It's doing just fine these days. It's got a full scout. He knows exactly what he's up against. The Mothership Core does come out and finally starts to work on this refinery, but maybe too little too late to halt any sort of gas that is so necessary for early Protoss harassment. And that eBay, of course, block is making sure that he doesn't expand either. So I really like this play out of Armadawn, and let's see if it pays dividends as a Stalker of EnderSword comes down to start working on it. Of course, we have a robotics facility up and on the way for EnderSword as these Stalkers and the Mothership Core come down to work on this eBay. He's going to go ahead and get a couple minerals back when he cancels it, if he's got it on a hotkey, which he should. And we're going to go ahead and see if he cancels it or not as it's coming down to it. He's going to make it last as long as he needs. There it is, canceling. He's going to get 94 minerals back. We do have a robotics bay, of course, on the way. Forge already completed and 2 gates up, so not really a big tell of where EnderSword's at, but something that we do see on the way. 2 Widow Mines, so we're probably going to see some droppage because we have a starport already on the way as well. So this is looking to be a really fun play out of Armadawn. I really like this. He's going to probably transition into some Widow Mine drops with a Marine support, and we're going to see where he goes. He's throwing a Tech Lab down, just finished on his barrack. Pardon me, he's finished a Tech Lab on his barracks, and a Marauder's on the way. So, of course, Marauders do pretty good against this thing called a Stalker. 2 Widow Mines have popped and 2 more on the way. So, there is an Observer. No, it's an Immortal on the way. So, no detection as of yet besides 1 Photon Cannon at the main. And this Natural is about as late as you can imagine. It is 7:40, and it still has not made anything. EnderSword, keeping with the old tried and true method, he's going to go ahead and hide something up here. Probably a pylon, probably not tech, I'm going to go ahead and assume. But why else would you put it up there? It's not really in the place of reinforcing. We'll see what that probe does. It's a Tyrannus probe. It got the easiest of the jobs. It just sits there with minerals in its mouth until it's told to do something. But trust me, guys, his life is pretty important. He, you know what? He signed up to be a probe, and he's just going to be a probe. Armadawn loading up 3 Widow Mines in this medevac here. He's going to go ahead and come around to the wrong side because there is a photon cannon there, but we're going to see if the control is true from our golden Terran player. Another Immortal on the way for EnderSword, so we'll see if he is able to defend these Widow Mine drops well. He's going to go ahead and throw out another photon, another photon cannon. So, you know, the defense is true thus far. A stagnant defense, of course, from EnderSword is going to detect and shoot up and down. Who gave Protoss that? Well, David Kim, I'm looking at you. This Widow Mine drop is going to get absolutely cleaned up. The Widow Mines don't burrow, and he loses the medevac as well. So really well done from EnderSword to pick that up. Of course, 100, 100, and for each medevac, it is going to be 75, 25 for a grand total of a bunch of minerals and a bunch of gas, but it's a really big pickup, and it's of course unfortunate to lose that much early on because you could have been investing that into tech and units and not lose that tech and not lose that units. One thing to be sure though, Armadawn has a slight supply advantage from the early game shenanigans that gave him, and of course he's got 3 more Widow Mines in this medevac going around the corner. EnderSword has taken the forward Zelnaga tower with his little units here, his little special tactical squad. He's got Immortals in it, he's got Stalkers, he's got some Sentries and Observers, so, you know, a pretty decent force, but I don't know how well he's going to do. A tank actually on the way for Armadawn, so maybe he smells some craziness going on down here. EnderSword going to hit some early pylons here as he cancels... oh man, Armadawn's going to go ahead and throw these Widow Mines down. All 3 of them are going to burrow. EnderSword's not pulling drones in the massacre. Oh, 4 kills on one, 2 on another, and 4 on the other. So total 10 probes die, lose their lives at the massacre of St. Valentine's Day, the Thanksgiving massacre. I guess if you're Canadian, it'd be Family Day. These Stalkers and the Immortals are going to come in, but there's a lot of Widow Mines here, and you know what? There is an Observer, but maybe the shots are going to go down. Oh, he gets the Observer. There's no detection here, so these Widow Mines are able to go get whatever kills they want from this point onward. Of course, that is the only defense that he has at this point, and the Stalkers and Immortals are going to go in unimpeded. These SCVs are going to, of course, repair the lifted orbital and try and make something happen of their own. They're going to go ahead and get shot to pieces by these Stalkers as they go. Vikings are out, going to try and snipe that mothership core, but the Stalkers are there, and the Widow Mines are going to get another shot. These Widow Mines are about to come off their timer. There's no Observers. The Widow Mines are all going to go off, and down 1 Stalker, 2 Stalkers down, a 3rd one goes down, and my goodness, the Widow Mine defense is true. He is going to go ahead and lose his orbital to a little special tactics force of Stalkers here to the outside, and that is a big loss, but 84 supply to 54 supply by way of our Terran player, and those Widow Mines are still in the natural mineral line of EnderSword. If you go look at that, and they've got more kills on them. We got 8 on one, 6 on another, 4 on another for a grand total of 18 kills on that, and that is game-ending damage. If you don't rectify the situation, EnderSword, that orbital command, or rather just regular command center, is going to burn down in the gasps of space out there. Probably going to descend down to that space, that planet, whatever the hell is looking, Jupiter-looking thing down there, and might kill somebody, the falling space wreckage. Hopefully, it's not going to kill, EnderSword, though, too badly, because he's up here in Daybreak doing his own thing. Still hasn't been able to saturate his natural, and the Widow Mines are still there, and they're just going to keep killing probes. He has not dealt with his Widow Mines, the bane of his existence. They are the DTs of Terran. They are the banelings of Terran, and it is doing its thing. The Observer is out, but he doesn't have any units back here. All of his units are forward. He's down 30 supply, trying to make something happen, and it's a bit of a mechy transition from Armadawn. We are gonna see mech out of him. You know what I don't like, though? Tanks versus Immortals. I don't think anyone likes those, and if anything, EnderSword can take this engagement. He does have a lot of Widow Mines, and he does not have an Observer with that army just yet. Of course, it is going to be there soon. Or does he have one there? I don't know. He's got an Observer out on the field. He's got 2 Observers on the field. Now there's the Observer with his army, so that might make all the difference in the world. We're going to see what happens here. They come in. Widow Mines are going to go off on these Stalkers, but is it enough? It's 2 Immortals still alive. These tanks are going to go down really quickly to the Immortals, and there's nothing left here for Armadawn to defend this. He's going to have to pull SCVs, but the Zealots on top of the siege tanks. Now he's just fighting against Zealots, Stalkers, and an Immortal with the 2 landed Vikings and SCVs, and that is never a good thing. The Widow Mines provided the real, ability here to defend that as he goes ahead and moves more Widow Mines into the main of EnderSword, and he's content with just letting the Widow Mines do the work. You don't need to do anything. You just burrow them, and they're basically storms, and they shoot anywhere. So Armadawn content with having Widow Mines, and you know what? He's just gonna keep killing stuff with Widow Mines. I have never seen this kind of play before. I love it. Make Widow Mines, keep making Widow Mines. Keep making Widow Mines seems to be the strategy from Armadawn, and it is actually working. The mineral lines of EnderSword are nowhere to be seen at this point. He only has 22 probes, and there are Widow Mines going off in the main. They're outside the range of the photon cannons. They're getting the warped-in Zealots to try and clean this up, and it is just going from bad to worse for our fellow ASL caster. This is horrifying. Where do we go from here? The mech transition didn't work for Armadawn. It got absolutely ravaged by that engagement, but EnderSword, the economy, non-existent. Widow Mines are, of course, going to get cleaned up here. They are detected by the photon cannons, but the Zealots able to do whatever they need to do, get rid of those pesky little robot mines. We still have 3 Widow Mines in the natural here. And as we move one out, and they have certainly paid for themselves. We got 10 kills on that little guy. He's, of course, a Widowmine Sergeant going down to the third here to ensure that no thirds are taken. We have 6 kills on that guy and 7 kills on the other one, as this observer is finally going to make sure that nothing is going down. Another kill! 7 kills on that guy. And of course, EnderSword at this point probably lost for words, probably so disappointed that he has still not realized that he doesn't have a mining natural. He's going to go ahead and rectify the situation a little bit and pull his units back and see if he can chrono boost out some probes, because he's got a lot of chronos saved up on those next side that are doing nothing, just sitting there looking pretty. So Widow Mines and Tank, that's the new meta these days, boys. Go ahead and make those build orders and get them out on the internet so I can learn it and go play Protoss with it. We do have, of course, nothing crazy from EnderSword. Stalkers, Zealots, Observers, that sort of thing. More Widowmine drops from Armadawn. Stick with it. If it works, don't fix it, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it, all that sort of thing. We have more of these pesky little storm throwers coming down into the main, and they're probably just going to sit right there, burrow, and cause havoc. The Stalkers outrange them, of course, but they scan, and they might get the Observer. No, they do not. Oh, they do get the Observer, so the photon cannons, of course, do detect, and the range is true. We do have more of Armadawn's forces coming down here by way of a 3 Hellion run by. Does he have Blue Flame with it? I haven't even been watching the upgrades. He does not, but still no reaction out of EnderSword as of yet, and these Hellions are unprovoked and free to go about their business as they see fit. Getting 2 more drones, or probes picked up, rather, another probe picked up, and those 3 Hellions paying for themselves. At this point, Armadawn, you can make whatever you want and march across and in the game. He's got a double supply lead. He might not know it, but Protoss always seems like they've got 18 Colossus hidden somewhere on the map. This is going a little bit from bad to worse as another Widowmine inside the main gets another kill. He's got 3 kills on him. It's just, the Widowmines are real. The hurt is real. I can feel it in the heart of Protoss and Zerg everywhere. Y'all have to deal with this nonsense. I, of course, don't really deal with it that often, being the Diamond Terran myself. That being said, we do have 113 supply, 113 supply for Armadawn, choosing now to be the time to move out. Got a lot of Vikings, got a lot of Widowmines, got 1 Marine, a medevac, and some siege tanks. He's going to try and make this work. He goes ahead and lands the Vikings to go ahead and work on this debris here in the middle of the map, get it out of the way so he can just rally right across. The quickest route to Protoss's base is actually Widowmines, it turns out. So here it goes. He's going to lift up these Vikings, put them into that assault mode once again, or out of the assault mode, or rather he's in flying mode. So this is a big, an army, but he could have whatever he wanted. He could have mass Marines. He's going to put all those Widowmines in the same spot. He's going to try and bait out this, he's scanning, throwing down, see if he can get an Observer. He's going to go ahead and kill one of them. Photon Overcharge is deployed. He's going to try and pull these Stalkers into this Widowmine trap, and that's exactly what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's a total trap. Admiral Akbar on his on his game tonight. It's a trap. Don't go for it. It is what it is. You thought she was a lady, but she's a man. Don't walk into those Widowmines, ladies and gentlemen. It can get bad from worse. Your bar night just turned into a fiasco, and you're going to have to explain that to your current girlfriend. This Mothership Core is going to get shot down if it tries to engage. He's trying to find the Observers. He's not doing a very good job. The Vikings are kind of getting caught out, but it's a lot of Stalkers, but 1 or 2 hits from those siege tanks, and the shields on these units are gone. Down goes the Mothership Core. No more Photon Overcharge for you. He's doing a little delicate little dance between the siege tanks. Siege tanks saying, hello, nice to meet you. You are shieldless. And the Mortals are hiding in the corner. You don't see that typically. They want to be out in the front of the field doing damage. And to siege tanks, they particularly love doing damage, of course, with the Hardened Shields upgrade. They kind of bypass against any sort of mech and laugh and say YOLO and just chew through tanks. That Observer's down, that Observer's down, so the Vikings pretty much paying for themselves. They're all going to go down except for one, it seems. And but in the end, picking up Observers, and what are you going to make if you can't detect Widowmines? That seems to be a lot of them, and the slow, steady push from Armadawn just keeps getting slower and steadier as he's going to leapfrog these Widowmines ahead, leapfrog his siege tanks, and not give 2 shits because, like Admiral Akbar said, it's a trap. Don't walk into there. EnderSword cannot engage this. There are simply too many Widowmines. There are too many siege tanks. There are too many Vikings, and at this point in time, it's just not happening. What is the response from EnderSword? He's not making anything that's, crazy. He doesn't have DTs. He doesn't have much. He's not producing anything. He's literally producing nothing right now. So you've got to make a play, EnderSword. You got to do something. You can't sit there and wait for your Nexus to disappear. 1 siege tank is firing. Now 2 siege tanks are firing. There's a lot of Widowmines providing all sorts of damage, and I bet you EnderSword is just shaking his head saying, what the hell happened this game? How did I lose to mech? I got a weird refinery eBay block. Now comes the engagement. The Stalkers and the Immortals are coming in. They're all getting shredded. So many Widowmines, and just Immortals, and the GG is called. Oh my goodness gracious, Armadawn. All right, welcome back. We are on Overgrowth. Of course, it is game 2 for this loser series TVP between these great players going on. And let's get right into the player introduction, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. He took game 1 with some really innovative, funky, it's a trap play. It is your Red Terran player.
Team Ascension, Armadawn.
And his opponent, our very own ASL caster, looking to survive on the ropes here. Looking to make it out of this group and not die again. Once again, having his gas taken by a refinery from his Terran opponent. It is your purple Protoss player.
Deadly Gaming, EnderSword.
And EnderSword, let's see what your response is here. He's got 2 pylons, so nothing funky out yet. Of course, he's got 2 pylons in the main, probably a third one going up. He hasn't taken a... You know what? My thing is to say, if someone takes my gas, I'll go ahead and take your gas. But he's not doing a tit for tat right now, as Armadawn's doing the same thing. Armadawn has shown us that he likes what he likes, and he's not going to stray far from what works for him. He did the same build against his Terran opponent earlier, and he lost both games. But he's doing the same thing that he did on Daybreak, and it worked for him on Daybreak. So, you know what? Sticking with the tried and true is our Red Terran player, and he's going to go ahead and get another... actually, he let the eBay complete. That's a little rough. I don't know about that, because, pardon me, now he can't get back the minerals that he invested into it, as this Reaper makes its way into the main, and it is going to go ahead and try and get around unimpeded, because there is in fact a Zealot that is just chilling behind a pylon, just keeping a lookout, safe and sound behind that crystalline structure. You know what? He got the easy job. My life for ire. Nah, fuck that. My life in a hammock on the beach with a mojito. That's my life. This Reaper's going to go ahead and do some jumping around and trying to escape the Stalker. It is not. Actually, I spoke too soon. Oh my god, that was gory and vicious. That was a lot of blood on that one. That was a little too much, David Kim. Blizzard needs to rectify the situation. They need to ASL rectify the situation, because that was a little too gory for my likings, because I'm 13 and what is this? That Zealot's still keeping a good lookout of the situation, making sure nobody's getting into his pylons. But he's going to do no good for this refinery that has been taken, and the Mothership Core is going to take a good goddamn long time to get it broken down. The Chrono Boost is going down on that Nexus, so the probes are on the way. There is a sneaky little probe. Gonna go ahead and take a third, because why not? Actually, that's a second, rather. Natural. I guess this is a new natural in the upper left of the base, not even on the gold, not even trying to exploit that. He's just gonna say, you know what, I need something, so I might as well take it. This, to me, tells me that EnderSword is feeling the pressure. Down, 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 ice baby. Right? So we've got more Widow Mines coming for Armadawn. Typically, this says that he's going to do the same thing. Actually, no, they're not Widow Mines, they're Hellions. He did make some Hellions last game. He made 3. He had a nice little Hellion hit squad that were able to take out some drones. But what this tells me is that he's going to put on even more crazy sorts of pressure early on. Out of EnderSword, we do have an observer coming out. Tells me that he is expecting early Widow Mines. He's not making the Immortal. The Hellions would love to get into this mineral line when they see an observer and not an Immortal. So, you know what? Some gamemanship coming out of Armadawn, some Star Sense working to his favor, as we have a bunker going down in this natural. He's taking a Zelnaga tower, and Hellions are on the way. Does Armadawn sniff out this expo that's hidden away? No, he does not. He's not going to go ahead and get the scout. It might take him too long to see it. But EnderSword, of course, taking a huge risk, double expanding, because he's trying to get his economy up until an unattainable point that will not be defeatable. But we're seeing some crazy cool play out of Armadawn. He's going to go for Cloaked Banshee. You don't see that often against Protoss for various reasons, one of them being photon cannons, and of course the other being stalkers. But we do have on the way nonetheless a tech lab going down, of course, on a barracks to make sure he can get out stim and all those wonderful upgrades like concussive shells and combat shields. So that Zealot is still just chilling. You know what? He has seen his fair share of war, and he's just deserved this retirement, and he's got a nice little vista on the front of a Nexus. It's, you know what, honey, we can retire here. It's got great benefits. You know, I'm right in the Forge district downtown. The Immortal keeps guard. There's going to be no Hellions here. We can raise our kids. It's going to be great. How do Protoss have kids? They don't have mouths. I don't understand it. Like, what do they do? You know, how do they speak? The legacy of the Void trailer has got those. They're telepathic. Yeah. Now we will retake our homeland. You can't do it loud. Like, everyone hears you. Like, what if you hear, I don't know. We got a Banshee coming in here. We've got Hellions on the outside, ready to pounce. There's nothing here to defend this as of yet. One probe goes down. Is he going to become a 2-probe killer? He is. He's about to be a serial killer. That's 3 kills. Now he's just targeting the Nexus. The Observer's already there, and he's going to lose the Cloak Banshee. And you know what? That's why we don't make Cloak Banshees against Protoss. But we do make Hellions, so they're going to get all of these probes here. I don't think we're going to have a single survivor of this massacre. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of barbecuing going down. And you know what? Robots, turns out, don't like fire. And that is a lot of probes lost unnecessarily. EnderSword caught between 2 worlds of defending his main from a Banshee and defending his natural from those roasting barbecuing Hellions, which are fucking assholes sometimes. And that's what they are in this situation. Another Banshee making its way across the road. We do have concussive shells, stim pack, a lot of Marauders, Hellions on the way, all sorts of production for our Terran player. Meanwhile, it's about half the production for EnderSword. Unfortunately, the Photon Overcharge is still deployed. Now it's gone, and that gives my Terran brethren the sign to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to poke in with this Cloak Banshee, and I'm going to keep making you come back and defend yourself. The entire army moving back. We don't need Immortals to defend Banshees, because you know what happened last time, EnderSword? Hellions went into your natural the last time you took your entire army back to defend this. And you know what's happening right now, EnderSword? Hellions are going in your natural. They're also going into your main. They've killed everything in their natural. They don't know about that third, though, so good on you. They're getting more kills here in the main. Photon Overcharge is deployed, but these Hellions are able to pay for themselves. My life for ire? No, my life for barbecue. That's what I desire. I'm going to get some pork ribs out of those probes. Here we go. Now, we've got those Hellions still working together in that natural. They're frying up whatever the hell they want, which happens to be a Nexus right now. I'm not sure how long it takes for 4 Hellions to take down a Nexus, but it's a pretty damn long time, that's for sure. He's not going to let them all die, though. He's going to make it out with 2 of them. It seems, 3. The third one made it just barely. So here we are at a stage of the game. Armadawn has done a lot of damage, but what has he really done? You know, what can he say for it back home? This base has actually been nice decision from EnderSword. Really kind of the whole bait and switch, old bait and switch from EnderSword, paying dividends for him, because Armadawn thinks he's trapped him down to 2 bases, essentially 1 mining base, because of course he's eliminated all the probes on that natural. Both players seemingly running into a little bit of supply block from Armadawn, because he's doing so much drop and harassment, and from EnderSword because he's having to deal with that drop and harassment. We do have a probe coming up, probably going to make a forward pylon, see if he can get some warp gate action. In the meantime, we don't have anything funky coming out of EnderSword. No Dark Shrine, I don't believe. Nothing like that, because he really hasn't had the time to make that sort of decision. He's been getting defending on all sides. He's beset on all sides, as Samuel L. Jackson would say, by men who want to kill him. So we do have a drop coming down in the main for our Protoss player from our Terran player. There's a lot of Marauders, and they're able to put out a lot of DPS, and he's just going to target the Nexus. And you know what? There's not much here to say no. Then now the shield's gone. Stim, once again, 2 medevacs healed it up really quickly. He can stay and fight. He doesn't even need to leave. He's got enough of these Marauders, but he's going to go ahead and lift up and take it out, because why not? I'm Terran, YOLO, I can do that sort of thing. He's going to go ahead and drop him right in the corner, takes out a Zealot. 3 Stalkers and an Immortal are still not going to be able to put out enough, and you know what? He's able to take out what he is, but the Hellions and the Natural are now doing all sorts of damage. They're getting all the roastings. They're getting all the slim pickings, as it were, taking up what they can. EnderSword, what are you doing, my good friend? I love you, but this is some pretty painful stuff. Can you do something? Can you help me out here, man? I want to root for you. I want to cast well for you, but it's just going from bad to worse. And Armadawn putting on a bit of a clinic in terms of her multi-pronged harassment. This is a pretty big EnderSword army marching across. Doesn't give 2 shits about no Hellions. You can deal with Hellions all day long. This is 3 Immortals, 2 Sentries, a lot of Stalkers, and some Zealots. Of course, that Hellion died a painful, fiery death. And you know what? Well justified, because you fried up a lot of probes yourself, good sir. It is the 15-minute mark, and we're finally seemingly expanding twice at the same time from Armadawn. Going to take 2 bases, as EnderSword is going to throw down a forward pylon. You know what he says? Enough is enough. I've had it. I'm going to go ahead and push and see if I can make it work. And if not, I might GG out of here, and that will be my tournament life. We do have Blue Flame on the way. So this is still a really interesting Hellbat Marauder composition, which is really strong. Immortals do not like Hellbats, it turns out, as this one hero Hellbat making his way 4 kills, 5 kills into the natural of EnderSword, and you know, 6 kills. He's a corporal. You've been promoted, Sonny. You're gonna get some extra pay so that your wife back home could take it from you and cheat on you. Now the engagement happens here down at the natural ramp. These Marauders putting out a lot of DPS. Time Warp goes down. Now he's dropping the Hellbats on the Immortals and the Stalkers, putting out a lot of DPS and area of effect damage. The force fields, are they enough? No, they are not. The stim is too real, and down to one Immortal, and he is gone. You know, nothing can shoot up right now, so it turns out the Mothership Core is just fine. She doesn't have to go home, but the party's over. EnderSword knows it. He calls GG. Good luck in future, and EnderSword unfortunately loses.